It's important that the viewer understands that what I came across at Lloyds, which I believe were examples of unprofessional conduct and unlawful behaviour, is deeply worrying in that I believe that the particular sales system they used was abused, and many clients, hundreds of millions of pounds worth of capital involved, were badly advised or poorly advised. This is particularly worrying to the British public because hundreds of thousands of clients will have been affected by this, and I believe that they were overcharged in the advice that they were given, and also they were also poorly advised by the bank. This has not been picked up by the regulator, even though it is blatantly unfair to the clients.
So what happened to you when you made a complaint? And what complaint did you make?
I put in a complaint in December 2009 relating to that particular instance when I was told I'll be working with a dishonest colleague and nothing was done. And then I put in another set of complaints in April 2010, which highlighted the unfairness of the sales system and why the Lloyds TSB clients were put at a material disadvantage because of this particular sales system, and which acted against their own interest and maximised charges, maximised costs which were wholly avoidable. Having put in these complaints, a hearing was held by a director, and within the meeting, which was held in January 2010, after about 20 minutes into the meeting, they withdrew from the meeting and then came back into the meeting and said, "We want to make you an offer," which is an offer of a settlement. And the implication is that if you drop this complaint, we give you a compensation to leave the bank. I replied that I wanted this complaint to be investigated properly. And then the bank then denied they ever made an offer. Going on from that, because the bank did not investigate my original complaints properly, I put in further complaints. I escalated the complaint up through the various layers of the bank to the managing director of the Wealth and Private Bank. He did not deal with it properly, and then they fired me. They said, when I was being fired, they said that my complaints would disappear. In other words, the complaints stopped when I left the company. This is unlawful because a regulated advisor such as myself has a legal duty under British law to report to the appropriate authorities or through the appropriate channels if they believe that clients are being abused or misadvised, or there is some sort of unprofessional conduct going on. It is their duty to report these incidences to the bank's compliance team, and if the bank's compliance team do not deal with them, then to the chief executive. I've done all those. These complaints have escalated right up to the chief executive. My own MP, Theresa May, has written on 4 occasions to the chief executive, and not once has he replied to the minister's letter. He's asked directors, senior directors, to reply on his behalf, and they have replied in a dismissive fashion. One particular reply was misleading and contained untruths. So I'm a regulated advisor. I come across what I believe are incidents of what really is, I believe, fraud and corruption going on within the bank. I use the proper processes within the bank. I'm subjected to bullying, intimidation and threats. I'm fired. I carry on complaining right up to the chief executive, and the bank refuses to properly investigate my complaints. The bank denied then that they'd made an offer, but later on in the year they admitted they made an offer of a settlement on commercial grounds, which means that they considered their own commercial interests to be more important than any obligation to adhere to UK law, and that is a big admittance on the bank. And I'm going to concentrate upon this on my website because it's a legal point. So having described the actions of the directors on the website and actually naming them in a lawful manner, concurrent to this, I'm going to be making official complaints to the Financial Services Authority, the regulators, to investigate their actions as well. But what is unique about this site is that the complaints which I submit to the regulators, the FSA, are going to be posted on my website, Don't Bank on Lloyds Ethics, in a lawful manner. This has never been done before. What I'd like the British taxpayer to know about is how Lloyds allowed clients to be misadvised, missold, and what I believe to be abused against the law. What was it about Lloyds' systems that failed? Over the next few months, I'm going to describe how I put two particular sets of complaints in to the management. The first complaint related to the episode whereby I was told that a colleague was dishonest, and nobody did anything about that. The second complaint is why the Lloyds TSB sales system is inherently unfair to those people who invested with Lloyds. This actually is widespread mis-selling. I believe this is widespread mis-selling. It's because the application of the sales system was across the nation through all the Lloyds TSB's branches for a decade. And this is important for the British public to know, that I believe there have been many examples of clients being manipulated unfairly to maximise costs and maximise bonuses.